Hey everybody, I'm here with part 3 from path 4 of my Abyss unit and resource breakdown. In the last video, I looked at Yellow Jacket, Mordo, Mephisto, Ghost Rider, and Korg. The first opponent for this video is the Hood. For the Hood, I used Aegon, took 8 revives, 6 health pots, I was already at max combo, and it cost 548 units. The Hood's abyssal abilities. At the start of the fight and every 20 seconds, the Hood's opponent is inflicted with a poison and bleed debuff, each dealing 50% of their max health in direct damage over 15 seconds. The Hood is also much more likely to launch his Special 2 or Special 3 attack. The next opponent, Modok. For Modok, I used Aegon and Nick Fury. It took 5 revives, I used 6 health pots, and it cost 140 units. Modok's abyssal ability. When the attacker or the defender fill a bar of power, the attacker is inflicted with a Power Sting passive for 15 seconds, which consumes itself, dealing 600 direct damage if the attacker launches a special attack before it expires. This Power Sting has plus 50% ability accuracy. Unless the defender is under the effects of a debuff when a Power Sting expires, the attacker receives a stun debuff lasting 5 seconds. So this is the portion that makes Nick very good for this fight. The next opponent was Morningstar. For Morningstar, I used Aegon, took 9 revives, I used 2 health pots, and it cost 256 units. Morningstar's abyssal abilities. Every 10th hit on the attacker's combo meter must be a heavy attack. If it isn't, Morningstar gains a passive unstoppable effect for 8 seconds. This fight isn't too bad. It's just a matter of managing the unstoppables. And once you get into a rhythm, it goes pretty smoothly. The next opponent was Darkhawk. For Darkhawk, I used Void, took 4 revives, 4 health pots, and cost 180 units. Darkhawk's abyssal ability. Each time the defender is struck while under the effect of an armor-up buff, they gain a charge lasting indefinitely. At 10 charges, the defender steals all of the attacker's current power. Tech champions are immune to ability accuracy modification and nullify, unless under the effect of an armor break debuff. At the start of the fight, gain an armor up buff. If it's removed, it will return after 15 seconds. The reform timer won't start while under the effect of an armor break debuff. And now we'll have a look at some gameplay of Void versus Darkhawk. The main consideration to keep in mind when using Void against Darkhawk, aside from the power steal, is to ensure that you have 2 Petrify debuffs when you change Darkhawk's mode. Ideally, you'll have 2 Petrifies and a Fear of the Void. Once Darkhawk throws his L2 and the healing is reversed from the Petrifies, you can then throw a heavy to have him change his mode again so that you can reverse his healing 2 times in a row. And now back to our regularly scheduled unit and resource overview. The next opponent was Red Skull. For Red Skull, I used Doom and Aegon. It cost 8 revives, 8 health pots, and a total of 468 units. Red Skull's abyssal ability. While Red Skull remains below 1 bar of power, attacks against him suffer negative 90% attack. While below 2 bars of power, attacks instead suffer negative 50% attack. While at or above 2 bars of power, attacks instead gain 25% attack. And now we'll have a look at some gameplay of Aegon against Red Skull. Overall, when facing Red Skull, I found Doom to be a much better counter than any of the other options I had. With Doom, I found the fight to be much easier technically, although it did take longer. I found Aegon and Nick Fury were able to do a lot more damage, but you need to be able to evade Red Skull's L2, which for the most part, I'm not very good at doing. but here's some gameplay of Aegon versus Red Skull. The main objective is to get your L2 to hit Red Skull just as he's getting to 2 bars of power, so that your bleeds will do the most damage possible. If you're good at evading Red Skull's L2, this is not a bad option at all. Not good at evading Red Skull's L2, this doesn't work out too well. And that's it for part 3 of Path 4 of my Abyss unit and resource breakdown. Thanks for watching.